The first blow landed before dawn. It came through the bars, fast and heavy, cracking against Daniel Hale's cheekbone as he slept on the thin jail mattress. Pain exploded across his face. He rolled instinctively, arms coming up too late. The second punch caught his ribs, knocking the breath out of him. By the time he understood what was happening, there were already hands on him, hard, practiced hands that knew exactly where to strike. "Get up," a voice hissed. Daniel tried to speak, to ask why, but a baton slammed into his thigh. His leg buckled. He slid off the bed and hit the concrete floor, gasping. The cell was dim, lit by a single buzzing bulb in the hallway. 2 guards stood outside the bars. A third man was inside the cell with him. Daniel recognized him immediately. Officer Briggs. Briggs didn't wear his badge inside the jail at night. He never needed to. Everyone knew who he was. He crouched down until they were eye to eye, his breath sour with coffee and cigarettes. "You like causing trouble, Hale?" Briggs said softly. Daniel shook his head, blood dripping from his nose onto the floor. "I didn't do anything," he managed. Briggs smiled. "That's what they all say." The baton came down again, this time across Daniel's back. White-hot pain tore through him. He screamed, the sound echoing down the corridor, bouncing off concrete and steel. No one came. No one ever did. By the time they were finished, Daniel could barely move. Briggs stepped back, straightening his jacket. "Remember," Briggs said, calm and casual, "accidents happen in here all the time." The cell door slammed shut. The footsteps faded. Daniel lay curled on the floor, shaking, his body already swelling, bruises blooming beneath his skin. He hadn't even had his trial yet. 2 weeks earlier, Daniel Hale had been an ordinary man with an ordinary life. He worked the night shift at a small print shop on the edge of town, fixing machines and filling orders no one else wanted. He lived alone in a rented duplex, paid his bills on time, and spent Sundays at his mother's house eating food he pretended not to like. He had no criminal record, not even a speeding ticket. The night everything changed, he was driving home just after midnight when he saw the patrol lights ahead. At first, he thought it was a traffic stop. Then he saw the body. A man lay sprawled near the sidewalk, one shoe missing, blood dark against the pavement. A small crowd stood at a distance, whispering. Police tape fluttered in the breeze. Daniel slowed instinctively. That was his first mistake. An officer waved him over. Daniel pulled to the curb, heart pounding, unsure why he was being stopped. Before he could ask, another officer opened his door and told him to step out. "What's going on?" Daniel asked. "Hands where I can see them." Daniel complied, confused and frightened. They searched him, then his car. One of the officers found nothing. The other looked at Daniel with narrowed eyes. "You live around here?" he asked. "About 5 minutes away," Daniel said. The officer exchanged a look with his partner. "You know the victim?" the officer asked. "No," Daniel said quickly. "I've never seen him before." That should have been the end of it. It wasn't. They handcuffed Daniel and put him in the back of the cruiser. He kept asking why. No one answered. At the station, they told him he was being held for questioning in connection with a fatal assault. Daniel laughed at first. He thought it had to be a mistake. By morning, he understood how wrong he was. The man who had died was named Marcus Reed, 34, a construction worker with a prior record. The police said he'd been beaten to death in an alley 2 blocks from where Daniel had been stopped. They said Daniel's car had been seen in the area. They said a witness had identified him. Daniel asked for a lawyer. That was his second mistake. From that moment on, the tone changed. They kept him in a small interrogation room for hours. The lights too bright, the air too cold. Different officers came and went, asking the same questions again and again, twisting his answers, accusing him of lying. When he stuck to the truth, they grew irritated. Finally, Officer Briggs entered the room. Briggs didn't raise his voice. He didn't threaten. He just talked. "We know you did it, Daniel," Briggs said, sliding a file onto the table. "The only question is how hard this is going to be for you." Daniel stared at the file, his name typed neatly on the tab. "I didn't kill anyone," Daniel said. His voice shook despite himself. Briggs leaned forward. Marcus Reed was supposed to testify next week, he said, against someone very important. Daniel frowned. I don't know what you're talking about. Briggs sighed. That's a shame. They charged Daniel that afternoon. The news ran with it immediately. Local man arrested in brutal alleyway murder. Daniel's photo appeared on every screen. His driver's license picture, grainy and unflattering. Comment sections filled with hate. People called him a monster, a thug, a killer. Strangers who had never met him decided his fate in a matter of seconds. At his arraignment, the judge set bail impossibly high. Daniel was taken to county jail to await trial. That was when the real nightmare began. The beating left Daniel barely able to stand. The jail nurse glanced at his injuries through the bars, took a few notes, and handed him ibuprofen. Fill out a request if it gets worse, she said. It was already worsened. His cellmate, an older man named Clarence, watched silently as Daniel struggled back onto the bed. They got you too, Clarence said finally. Daniel turned his head slowly. Two, Clarence nodded. Over the next few days, Daniel learned the rules of the jail. Learned when to keep his head down, when to stay silent. He learned which guards looked the other way, and which ones didn't need a reason to hurt you. Briggs visited him twice more. The second time, he brought papers. All you have to do is sign a statement, Briggs said. Confess. Say it was a fight that got out of hand. I didn't do it, Daniel said. Briggs's eyes hardened. You really want to go to trial? He asked. With what they'll say about you. With what happened to people like you in here. Daniel swallowed. I want a lawyer. Briggs stood up. We'll talk again. Daniel wrote letters to anyone who might listen. His mother, a public defender he hadn't even met yet, a local newspaper. He described the beating. Most of the letters were never answered. One reporter did respond. Briefly. Days passed. Then weeks. Daniel's body healed slowly, but the fear never left. Every time footsteps echoed down the corridor at night, his muscles tensed. Sleep came in short, broken stretches. One evening, Clarence was moved to another unit. Daniel was alone. That night, the cell door opened again. This time, there were 4 of them. They didn't say a word. The beating was worse than the first. They dragged him into the hallway so no one could see clearly inside the cell. Fists, batons, boots. Daniel felt something crack in his arm. He screamed until his throat was raw. Someone kicked him in the head, and the world went white. When he woke up, he was in the infirmary. A doctor told him he had a fractured arm, 2 broken ribs, and a concussion. How did this happen? The doctor asked, not meeting his eyes. Daniel laughed weakly. You know how. The doctor sighed and wrote something down. Try to rest. Daniel realized then that no one was going to save him. Want a part 2 of this story? Comment yes below.